We are now joined via Zoom by Alpheus Nxumalo. He is government spokesperson for the Kingdom of Eswatini. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks very much for joining us. And of course, you know, we're giving you a right of reply at this point when it comes to the insinuation that has been made, and certainly that has been circulating, that you know, the passing, the death, the killing of the human rights activist and lawyer Thulani Maseko lie squarely, you know, at the hands of government, where we're hearing that there's no tolerance for opposition. What would you say to that?
That is a far-fetched reality and statement, my sister. The professor we have just finished talking, unfortunately, I did not hear the content of his conversation, but I could hear that he has got a lot of speculations. The content of his speech, apparently, he knows much more than we know ourselves. However, the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini takes every life very seriously, including the life of human rights lawyer Thulani Maseko, who is not new, by the way, in the political terrain of the Kingdom of Eswatini. He started his political activism when he was still a student at the University of Eswatini. He has got a long stretch of political participation on the sideline of the system that we are using here from time to time to form government. He has never been at any given point a person of special interest to the state, because Thulani believed in engagement, he believed in negotiations, he believed in resolving national political matters through dialogue.
Yeah.
This insinuation is rejected as it is being projected by those who are actually even jumping all the investigative mechanisms that we have put in place. The Kingdom of Eswatini have lost a number of individuals this year, including police officers, including security military officers, including a chief as well. Government is investigating. Yeah. And we cannot suspect, and we cannot begin to label people who have carried out without a proper investigation that is in place. Even in the case of Mr. Maseko, the government takes the opportunity to inform and to assure not only the citizens in the country, but our friends in the region, our friends in the international community, that every murder case relating to this situation is going to be investigated appropriately, and the investigations will be carried out transparently.
Yeah. Why do you believe that there is this sort of speculation, to the point that you've warned against it in the condolence message that you've sent out to the Maseko family? In fact, to quote you, you've said government warns against speculations and insinuations peddled, particularly on social media platforms, in instances like these. Why do you think that there is this these sort of speculations and insinuations that are peddled? You know, one could argue that, you know, there's no smoke without a fire. So why would people automatically assume that it is the government? And just to bring you up to speed, you said you couldn't hear what that professor was saying. He said that you know, there are certain people that, you know, the state has been after for a long time, and they're aware that there's this long list of people that the government is opposed to, and that they regard as enemies, is what he said, and that there is, as I said, no tolerance for any sort of opposition to the government. So back to my question, why do you believe that there is this sort of speculation, and people really do believe that the government is somehow involved and has a hand in this?
They don't believe that. You believe that.
I've not said I believe it, sir. I've asked, sir, it was not me that's saying that. I'm saying that is the speculation.
I'm responding to that.
Yes, but don't say it's me. I'm saying that people are saying.
No, I don't say it's you personally.
Yes.
I'm saying your institution since morning have been publishing those videos that you are publishing now, and making insinuations which are not correct, because you yourselves and everybody else at this stage have got no facts as to what has exactly taken place in Luyengo, in the residential place of Babe Maseko. So without a proper investigation that would separate fiction from facts, you are just all speculating. People can speculate because of social media. For instance, in this case, we have got a terrorist that has been declared so by the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, which is hiding in the Republic of South Africa, who knew each and every assassination, what time it has happened, who has carried out, and he published it immediately. Now, you can't run a state or a society like that. A society or a state should be run on rules, must be run on laws. Investigations must be undertaken in the open so that first can be established. And then you make people who have done that to take responsibility. Because if you speculate and you begin to label people and cast suspicions, you are actually misdirecting the whole investigative efforts. We are perpetrating deception. You are doing what is today called, within the context of contemporary warfare, a false flag operation, whose intent is exactly to disguise the source of responsibility and blame such to another party. And we don't want, as a government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, to embrace that kind of operation, because we don't want citizens to die because of their political beliefs or their political affiliations. Put them, for instance, to an organization which Thulani Maseko has belonged to in a long time. Political parties, by the way, are not legalized in the Kingdom of Eswatini. He has been a member of this political party for a long time. He has studied outside the country. He has came back to the country, still being the member of the organization. He has never been subjected or even been attempted to be assassinated. So I have got no reason, or anybody else, and this is what we are urging. Allow the government of the Kingdom of Swaziland, of Eswatini rather, to use the laws that we have in place. We've got professional security officers that are going to investigate this matter, and there is no stone that will be left unturned until we get the whole truth behind of how Mr. Maseko died, how Chief Maloma died, how even last week, last week, a command who belonged to a certain military camp at Bunya, how did he die? There are so many of these issues that the government is investigating. So there is no reason, therefore, in our view, for the world to become myopic about one particular death of Mr. Maseko, when the government is actually investigating all deaths that have almost taken place on both sides of the political pendulum.
Yeah, and just carrying on in terms of, these perceptions, your government has been accused, in fact, of trying to shut down certain voices, just like Maseko in the past. I mean, in 2014, Maseko was sentenced to 2 years in prison. I think you were alluding to that. With the editor of a news magazine, The Nation, Begi Makubu, for contempt of court over articles critical of government and the judiciary. So when we're asking the question as to why you think there is this perception, there are also some facts leading to that would lead people to have certain perceptions, and that is the question.
That was a very specific matter they were required to go to court to answer for, and they did. And the courts found that there are no merits in the case that was brought by the state. Hence, they were released. They continued with their lives. The Kingdom of Eswatini is a modern government. The three arms of government are operating and are functioning distinctly in respect of each other. So that very reason that they were charged, they came to court, they answered on the charges that were leveled against them, and the court found them not guilty. It shows that we are not a state that just hit people or kill people. We engage and we use the law to make people account where they are suspected to have contravened the law.
All right. Thanks very much for that. Alpheus Ngumalo, government spokesperson for the Kingdom of Eswatini, of course, weighing in on the passing of lawyer Thulani Maseko, who's also a human rights activist who was killed, and the government releasing a statement of condolences and asking that the public refrain from making certain speculations.